Saturday morning, I pull out the numbers I've collected for the pet. I pull out the numbers I've collected for the pet hut. I don't have enough data to do any real calculations. I need to go back. I call Wendy first and ask her to go with me. I can't. It's my dad's weekend. I have to hang out with him and his new girlfriend. She makes a gagging noise into the phone. Next, I call Levi. I try not to think too much about it. I've never called a boy before and asked him to hang out or work on a project or anything. He might take it the wrong way since Wendy won't be there, and that's the last thing I want. Really? Wendy's not going? He asks, even though I've already told him that. Really? She's at her dad's this weekend. Then I'm in, but I need a ride. I'll take care of it, but no camera, okay? I don't know the exact number, and that drives me crazy. But I know Levi has taken at least 17 pictures of me. He's also snapped 11 of Wendy. That's like asking me not to bring my right arm. Nana's way too happy when I ask her for a ride. She suggests I change my shirts and offers to curl my hair. I probably should have warned Levi. I probably should have canceled. I can't believe I'm driving my only granddaughter and a boy. She slaps the steering wheel as we head out of the house. Wait until I tell your Uncle Paul. Please don't. I can already imagine the lecture he'd give me about boys and dating. And this is not a date. I knew middle school would be good for you. Nana, stop. I warn her. I know, you're just friends. We're not even friends. I say, we're partners in a project. She turns to me and smiles wide. And that's why you're wearing your hair down? She takes a strand in her finger. So pretty. It's because it's wet. I take the rubber band off my wrist and yank my hair into a ponytail. Nana pulls into the driveway. Levi lives in a small, neat white house that's decorated with purple flowers and large pumpkins. It belongs on the cover of a real estate magazine. You want me to beep the horn, or are you going to ring the doorbell? Don't beep. I get out of the car, hoping Levi will appear before I get to the door. He doesn't. Dogs bark from the inside. I tap my toe 3 times and use my elbow to ring the doorbell. Levi looks through the blinds before opening the door. I step back in case his killer guard dogs charge, but there's only a woman standing behind him. Hey, says, hey. Hi, Lucy. I'm Gina. Nice to meet you. She tilts her head and smiles when she talks. Gina has brown skin and black hair, like Levi, but his hair is curly on top, and her hair is super short, almost like Uncle Paul's military haircut. She's wearing shorts, a tank top, and sneakers, and is kind of sweaty. She's tall and skinny, and probably could be a model. Levi's tall and skinny too, but he has at least 6 inches to go to catch up with her. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. I wonder if Gina is his biological mom and what his other mom looks like. And who's his biological dad? Seems rude to ask or even think about. Something Wendy won't have a problem bringing up. Wendy would have no problem bringing up. I hear the car door close and turn to see Nana coming up the sidewalk. Hello, she says as she steps on the porch. I'm Lucy's Nana, Barb. She offers her hand to Gina. Hi, I'm Gina, Levi's mother. Nana turns her hand out to Levi next. Hi, Levi. Nice to meet you, ma'am. She turns to me and says, What a polite young man. I give her a warning look, begging her not to say anything else. Thanks for driving them, Gina says. I'm teaching a cardio class at 11 and another at 1. I could pick them up later. Don't worry about that, Nana says. I'm happy to do it. I cringe, waiting for her to say something about my lack of a social life. Thankfully, she's quiet. Levi's mom kisses cheek and says goodbye. I can't tell if he's embarrassed because I look away. We follow Nana back to the car. Levi gets in the backseat. I get in the front, taking my standard 3 tries to sit. I usually don't like Nana's fast driving, but today I want her to push the car to its limits. Luckily, she keeps the conversation polite, and Levi doesn't look too uncomfortable. I remember when this used to be a Pizza Hut, Nana says as she stops in front of the shelter. What time do you want me to pick you up? They close at 5. We're staying all day? Levi asks. I am. He groans. Noah's behind the counter again. He's talking to a family and waves to Levi as me as we drop our volunteer permission forms. We'll be in the office, I say, like we're old co-workers. Levi holds the door for me. The dogs bark and jump inside their kennels as we walk past. I look around for Cutie Pie, but don't see him. We knock on the office door that's marked Employees Only. No one answers, so Levi opens it. All the papers are still on the desk. No one's touched anything since we were here last time. I sit, stand, sit, stand, sit in the chair. What am I supposed to do? Levi asks. You can help me enter these into the computer, I say, patting the pile. No thanks. You could... Something under the desk brushes against my leg. I shove back in the chair and knock into the metal cabinets. What's wrong? He asks. There's something under there, I point. Whatever tried to snap my leg off is hidden in the shadows. My heart is thumping like when we ran a mile in gym class. Levi rushes around the desk and drops to his knees. It's Cutie Pie! I relax slightly. Here, boy! Levi lures him out with kissy sounds. The dog is shaking and keeps his tail between his back legs. I know how he feels. Now you have something to do. I motion to Cutie Pie's Mad. Get him out of here! Hey, Cutie Pie, do you want to go for a walk? Levi asks in a fake deep voice. Oh, let's try that again. Hey, Cutie Pie, you want to go for a walk? Levi asks in a fake deep voice. Sounds like I'm hitting on him. Maybe we should call him Pie, I suggest. I double-check to make sure there's nothing else living under the desk. Then I turn on the computer. Claire comes in as I'm wiping the keyboard with Clorox. I heard you were here. Thanks for coming in. Can I take Pie for a walk? Levi asks. The dog hides behind Levi's legs. Hard to imagine he would enjoy a walk. Sure, but keep him away from the other dogs. We don't have a vaccination record yet. Pie tilts his head like he's trying to understand what's happening. Come on, it's okay, Levi assures the dog. With Levi gone, Claire explains to me how to put the data into the computer. They use an old program that is similar to an address book. It's pretty simple, Claire says. She isn't kidding. There are better ways to track the information, but this'll work for now. I enter adoption form after adoption form into Claire's system. I also take the information I need and scribble on a pad of paper. I could put it in a spreadsheet, but that would take away some of the fun. I collect each dog's breed, age, color, weight, and gender, and the number of days it took to be adopted. Since the pet head is a no-kill shelter, all the animals are eventually adopted, including Barnaby, a dog that lived here for 103 days before finding a home. He might still be here if some anonymous donor hadn't paid his $175 adoption fee. I don't bother working on the cats. I'm only interested in the dogs for now. I work for 72 minutes before Levi and Pie finally come back. How's it going? Levi unclips Pie's leash. The dog immediately pushes his way back under the desk. Fine. I don't want to be interrupted. Things are coming together. Correlation and causality. Things are making sense. I scribble another ratio on the pad of paper. What's that? Levi asks. Nothing. I flip over the paper and send a pile of adoption forms sailing to the floor of personification. Levi snatches the pad of paper. Looks like math, like hard, gross math. Hey! I jump up. My chair slides back into the filing cabinet. Give me that! What are you working on? He studies his sheet like he needs glasses. I grab for it, but Levi's faster. Come on! Tell me what you're doing! He holds up the pad over his head, teasing me. I jump. I miss. I jump. I miss. Of course. I feel the need to try a third time and fail again. I'm so angry. My arms shake. Levi! My voice cracks. I'm just playing. Barking erupts between us before Levi can finish his thought. Pie growls at Levi. The fur on his back sticks up. All his teeth are showing. Whoa! Levi steps back. He holds his hands out. Pie quiets and walks to my right side. He sits practically on my foot and leans all his weight against my leg. I try to slide away, but Pie adjusts so he's still touching me. Gross. I'm sorry, Levi whispers. What got into that dog? I imagine he's got a trigger word that sets him off. I don't want to make him mad like Levi did. I think he likes you. It doesn't make any sense, and the feeling is not mutual. What do I do? Pet him? No. I look at the stupid dog. He looks up, his head tilted, our eyes meet in a corny cartoon way. He does have beautiful brown eyes that are thoughtful and sad. Not that I'd tell him that. Not that he understands English. Pet him, Levi says again. Pie's tail thwacks. Ooh, I love that word. Thwack. Onomatopoeia. The floor with a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lucy, rub his head, scratch behind the ears. But dogs are so dirty. You don't have to lick him, just pet him. Since both Levi and Pi seem determined for this to happen, I lower my right hand and with the tips of my fingers stroke Pi's head 3 times. His eyes close. He pushes his head into my knee. Those jeans are going right into the wash when I get home. You're a good dog, I say. I pet him some more, and I lose count of the number of times my hand moves back and forth. Here, Levi hands me my paper with the calculations. I don't want your guard dog to attack again. He didn't attack. He gave you a warning. Levi sits on the edge of the desk. Are you going to tell me what you're doing or not? It's statistics. I squirt hand sanitizer on my palm and then walk around to Levi. My new sidekick follows me. I'm working on a formula. There's a pattern on how quickly a dog will be adopted. Like small dogs are adopted 1.75 or 1 75 hundredths times as fast as big dogs. Gray dogs find homes 2 2/10 times as quickly as black dogs. Dogs over the age of 8 take an average of 25 days to be adopted, which is over 2 times the average for all pet hut dogs. But this is all very preliminary. I need more numbers. And I sit in the chair. Pi watches with his head tilted. How did you come up with all this? Levi asks. It's not that hard for me. I drop the pad on the desk. Across the sheet are averages and standard deviations for the 107 dogs most recently adopted. I hate math. His upper lip curls in disgust. It bites. Math hates me and I hate math. I could help you, I offer. I'm kind of good with numbers. Will you do my homework? No. He picks up my calculations again and flips through the 4 pages. His eyes narrow. He shakes his head slightly. How good are you? He asks. Really good? Pi pushes his way back under the desk. I look at him instead of Levi. Really good? He does air quotes around really good. Don't make me sing Liar, Liar, Pants on Fire. I hate to sing. Fine. I'm freaky, excellent, genius, good at math. Seems like you're good with adjectives, too. Take a deep breath and tell him my story before I lose my nerve. I want someone to understand that I might not be normal, but this, the numbers, the OCD, is my normal. When I was 8 years old, I was struck by lightning. Part of my brain was injured, and I ended up with super number abilities. Levi's eyes open wide. Seriously? I can tell he doesn't believe me, so I try to dazzle him by reciting pi to the 314th digit. I don't know if you're right, he says. Trust me, I am. Then I hand him the oversized plastic calculator Claire keeps on the desk. I tell him to quiz me. I add, subtract, multiply, divide all the numbers he throws at me. We play this game for over 10 minutes, which is plenty of time for me to worry that I've made a huge mistake in telling him my secret. Give a thumbs up if you think it was a mistake, or a thumbs down if you think she made a good decision in telling him. Is it good that she opened up, or is it not so great? Enough, I finally say. You're a freak. He smiles, exposing the gap between his front teeth. You're a freak. Did he mean that in a kind way or in an unkind way? I shrug. I already knew that. Don't tell anyone, okay? Cross my heart and hope to die. Do you need me to pinky promise too? Which is his way of promising to keep quiet and sort of mocking me at the same time. And I was serious. If you ever need help with math, I could tutor you, I offered. Gee, thanks, mighty math genius. Actually, I prefer Lightning Girl. I touch my necklace. And you can always go online if you don't want to be seen with me. I tell him about the Math Whiz website. Why wouldn't I want to be seen with you? I shrug. I'm not sure why I said that. The small office suddenly feels too warm. So, do you want to help me enter this stuff? I ask. I don't know if I'm qualified, Lightning Girl. I'm qualified enough for both of us. I point to the pile of forms on the floor. We spend the rest of the day entering adoption information into the computer and collecting my own sampling. A scraggly dog sleeps on my feet. Levi complains the whole time. It might be the best afternoon of my life. Oh, Lucy, I'm so proud of you. Chapter 22. I can't explain it, but I trust Levi will keep my secret. How many of you have friends like that where you don't really know how to explain it, but you just know they're really good friends and they'll be able to keep your secrets no matter what, and you can tell them anything? I want you to think of that person as you're listening here. Unlike Wendy, he rarely talks about other people. I know I should get it over with and tell her too. She's my best friend and she shares every detail of her life with me. Like last night, she told me about the time she peed her pants waiting in line for a roller coaster. And it wasn't a story from when she was like 5. It happened last year. I'd want to forget something like that, not admit it. The problem is, she also tells me about everyone else. From her mom, who needs to wax a mustache, to which kids repeated kindergarten. There's no controlling information once it's in Wendy's head. No vault, no lock and key, no secret combination. I'm also worried she might be hurt that I'm keeping something from her. Luckily, Wendy and I have plenty of other stuff to talk about, like the musical Wicked, her newest favorite, her birthday party, and global warming. She watched a video with a starving polar bear last weekend, and the next day she insisted on walking to school. She only made it about 3/4 of a mile, just to the next bus stop. It takes me 2 more visits to the PETA to finish entering all the data into the computer and collecting it for my own purposes. Levi and Wendy join me on Monday. They play with the dogs while I stay in the office. Wednesday, I go alone to complete my work. The numbers are fascinating. I share them with Squarehead 314 and Numberlicious, but they aren't impressed. They say my sample of 242 dogs isn't large enough to make any definitive conclusions. But it's not like I'm going to another animal shelter to collect more data. I don't visit the PETA just for the numbers. I also like to see Pi. He still doesn't have a kennel to call his own, so I try to make his under-the-desk doghouse more comfortable. I bring him an old sweatshirt to sleep on. It's green and yellow, like the numbers 14 and 102, and too small for me. But while I'm working on the computer, he prefers to sleep on my lap, which is gross and adorable. I think our Cougar Cares project is going great. If it were up to me, I'd even say we've done enough. Their adoption files are all digital and up to date. We can keep visiting the PETA to enter any new paperwork and to check on Pi. But Wendy still wants to make a difference. On Thursday night, we have a group phone call to see how we can change the world. Our revised project plan is due tomorrow. Okay, guys, what are we going to do? Wendy asks, in charge. As always, we need some good ideas, like right now. Let's just have a bake sale, raise some money, and get it over with. Do you bake? I lie back on my bed. No. Think bigger, Wendy demands. A big bake sale? Wendy groans. Ugh, I'm so glad this isn't for a grade, or I'd kick your butt out of this group. I can imagine Levi smiling at his end. He likes to get Wendy upset, and he's good at it. Maybe we could have a bake sale for pets, I say. We can make homemade dog treats and grow catnip. People who love animals will come to the sale. We'll raise funds and maybe get people to adopt another pet. Will you two give up the bake sale? Wendy says. Besides, we can't raise money. They told us that on the first day. Lucy, tell us what you've been working on. Levi says. I see you scribbling your ideas down. He doesn't say formula or equation or math. Guess he's trying to keep my secret. What's he talking about? Wendy's voice cracks. I can't tell whether she's hurt or mad. As I was entering the adoption information into the computers, I just noticed some interesting things. That's all. I tell her what I told Levi last weekend. Certain types of dogs take longer to get adopted. Pit bulls take 19 days to be adopted, while terriers take only 8. How'd you figure that out? Wendy asks. It's not like it's hard, Levi says, covering for me. Even I can calculate an average. So what? How does that help us? That doesn't seem fair, I say. Maybe we could change those odds? Levi offers. Oh, that doesn't seem fair. Maybe we could change those odds? Levi offers. My mom runs a marketing firm. People come to her to get more business and get more attention. Like she helps new restaurants get reviews and sends out coupons. The unpopular dogs need a publicist. I get the feeling that the idea didn't just pop into his head. So, what do you suggest? Wendy asks. The Pet Hut website is beyond pathetic, Levi says. You want to redesign their website? Wendy asks. I can imagine her lip curled in disgust. I want to get dogs adopted, he says. I log on my computer and go to the Pet Hut website. It has the basic information about adoption fees and the shelter hours. There are a few pictures and a very out-of-date blog. The last post was 67 days ago. It was a success story about a poodle mix that was adopted and lives with a family. I click around some more. The site doesn't have any posts about animals waiting to be adopted. Lucy! Lucy! Wendy yells. Are you there? I'm here. Lucy, how long does it usually take a dog to get adopted? The average wait time for all dogs is 12 days, not counting puppies. So the goal is to lower that number, and we do that by focusing on the dogs that will take a super long time to get. Sorry, going back, this is Wendy. So the goal is to lower that number, and we do that by focusing on the dogs that take a super long time to get adopted, Wendy says. We'll put them in the website. We can write feature articles on them. We've done feature articles in language arts class. We had to write about a famous dead author. I'm not writing anything, Levi says. I'll take pictures. That's a good idea, and I'll figure out which dogs need our help the most. I don't want to write either. This is awesome, guys. We're going to save thousands of puppies. No puppies. They don't need help finding homes. According to my math, dogs under 6 months old are adopted within 3 days. Fine, Wendy says. We're going to save thousands of dogs. Or 10, I say, trying to keep Wendy from expecting too much. Chapter 23. Some teachers can't be trusted. I thought Miss Fleming and I had an understanding. For 4 weeks, she's been giving me the class readings to look over ahead of time. Remember, a while back, she had a difficult time reading aloud in class because she wanted to count the words and the paragraph beforehand. 3 short stories and her first assigned novel, The Call of the Wild. She thinks I'm pre-reading the stuff, but all I really need to do is count the words. Then when she calls on me in class, I have no problem reading aloud. Today, she breaks... Let go. Sorry, guys. Today, she breaks that fragile trust we've built, and I know it's no accident. She asked Maddie and Jennifer to hand out the anthologies, the readings. I haven't counted any words in this book. When you get your book, turn to page 97, Miss Fleming says to the whole class, but her eyebrows are focused on me. I don't have my book yet. I need to start counting. My face grows as hot as I wait. Maddie finally gets to me. She coughs on the cover before dropping the book on my desk, and I use my sleeve of the sweatshirt to open it. That's just nasty. The text is dense. It's the abridged version of the Odyssey, the shortened version. Lucy, why don't you start? I haven't even tallied a single word yet. I can't. My throat. I rub my neck. Just give it a try. She looks down at the podium, where her book sits. What kind of middle school teacher needs a podium? No. She does that thing where she takes off her glasses and puts one end of the pieces to her lips. I close my book and cross my arms over my stomach, not acting. I might throw up. I'll read, Wendy offers, like she did the first week of school. No, Wendy. I told Lucy to read. Miss Fleming steps in front of her podium. Read the first page, Lucy. You can do this. You've been working really hard. I can't. My eyes are cloudy. Now, Miss Callahan, leave her alone, Minnie says. Look at her. She's sick or about to be. You are both dangerously close. She holds her fingers about a half an inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch apart. But I'm not sure what she's measuring. Lucy mutters something and shakes her. Wendy mutters something and shakes her head. Lucy Callahan, this is the last time I'm asking, Miss Fleming says. You aren't really asking, someone interrupts. It's not Wendy this time. It's Levi. You're demanding. She doesn't want to read. Leave her alone. He's slumped in his chair, and it looks like he's talking to the textbook. You're being a bully. When Wendy adds, and that's all it takes for Miss Fleming to finally snap, "Get out of my classroom!" Levi gets up first and grabs his bag. I follow him, slipping the anthology under my binder. I'm taking it home to count the words later. Wendy is sickly pale and frozen in her seat. "I'm sorry. Go." Miss Fleming squeezes her glasses. They bend, but don't break. "Come on, Wendy, take one for the team." Levi holds the door open for us. When I get in the hall, I tap my toe 3 times. Wendy's right behind us. Her eyes are wet. "You didn't have to do that," I say, and hand her a wrapped Clorox wipe because I don't carry tissues. "I know." She sniffs hard and wipes her eyes on her sleeve. "What do we do now?" I ask. "I don't know. I've never been in trouble," Wendy says, and more tears drop. "I guess we should go to the main office," Levi suggests. We tell the secretary we've been kicked out of Miss Fleming's language art class for not reading aloud. She tells us to take a seat. We wait the rest of the period for Dr. Cobb, but it turns out he doesn't have time for us. When the bell rings, we're sent on to 4th period. The rest of the day continues without incident, but I notice that Wendy keeps looking at the door like she expects security forces to come busting through. Even on the bus ride home, she's still worried that her perfect record is tarnished, is ruined. "Thanks for, I tell her as she gets off. Wendy nods. It's obvious she regrets the stand she took for me, but there's a way I can make it up to her. Twizzlers and gummy bears don't seem like enough of a gesture." I kind of love that they stuck up for their friend there. When I get home, Nana is waiting on the couch, and the TV isn't on. Maybe the school called and told her that I got kicked out of language arts class. "Hey, is everything okay?" I ask as I help myself to hand sanitizer. "Lucy, I've got some good news." I drop my backpack and sit on the living room chair. "What?" "I was waiting on a family this morning, and the credit card machine was taking its sweet time. The son, he looked to be about 16, wore a sweatshirt that said NCASME, and it had some math symbols on it and a microscope. I asked him what it stood for." She pauses, like I should fill in this part of her story. "North Carolina Academy of Science, Math, and Engineering," she says. "It's a special high school for juniors and seniors. They do all the subjects, but the focus is math. And it's free because it's a public school. The students live in dorms and have meals in the cafeteria. It's all free." "That's cool." "And the boy, his name is Paul." "Paul, this is a sign, Lucy." "It is?" "Just because this stranger shares a name with my uncle and goes to a math school, that doesn't really feel like a major sign. Maybe if his name was Lucy?" She ignored me. "And Paul said, there's a girl at the school who's only 13. Isn't that amazing?" I nod. "Is her name Lucy?" "I have no clue." Nana throws up her hands. "Because that would be more of a sign." "Stop being silly. This school is perfect. You can be around other smart kids. It's not college and it's not middle school. I've called the admissions office to see how we can get you in." "Where is it?" "Near Charlotte." "Charlotte's almost 2 hours away." "Charlotte, North Carolina?" Nana tilts her head. She reminds me of pie. "I thought you'd be more excited. I even got Paul's email and phone number so you can ask him questions. You are made for this school, Lucy." "Okay. What's wrong?" "Nothing." Nana claps her hands and stands up. "I'm going to call the admissions office again." It's weird. Miss Fleming's class today was the first time I felt like I belonged at East Hamlin, and it wasn't because of Miss Fleming, that's for sure. Wendy and Levi made the difference. No one has ever helped me out like that before. I've never helped anyone else like that before. It's different from assisting with math homework online. They could have gotten in real trouble. They might still. The next day, we return to Miss Fleming's class. There's no mention of our revolt, no apologies from us or from her. It's like everyone is trying to forget it happened. Except I know Miss Fleming hasn't forgotten because she doesn't ask me to read a single word. I guess I wasted 2 hours last night counting every word in that stupid anthology book. "Looks like we got away with it," Levi whispers. "I hope so," Wendy says. I smile but say nothing. I'm not sure how all this works. Do I thank them? Do I owe them? Words and favors don't seem like enough. They saved me in more ways than one.